Hello, this is Teacher Len, and welcome to my learning video to support writing. In this episode, we're going to learn the best methodology to teach and master the parts of speech and the parts of the sentence. Now, too many young people study English for so many years, only to end up confused about grammar. The sad thing is that many develop a negative attitude towards it, that it has become a bitter pill to swallow. It's not really your fault. The fault is the ineffective way of teaching and learning grammar. There are simply too many lessons and concepts presented at one time with not enough practice to master each one. In this presentation, I'm going to give you the best sequence to learn words and sentences. Let's begin by identifying the problem. Part of the problem is the practice of having a new grammar textbook for every grade, year after year. Although many of the lessons are repetitive, our children get the idea that there's no end to what's to be learned. Parang ulit na lang ng ulit. So a better practice would be to have one basic book that can be used by students at every grade level until the material in it has been mastered. I hope to write that book soon. Okay, so what is the secret to mastering English grammar? Well, the key is to teach it in increments and in the right sequence. All children can master basic grammar if it is presented in an easy-to-grasp order, and if plenty of practice and exposure is provided. An understanding of grammar results from learning the parts of speech and the parts of the sentence. That said, let's talk about the best sequence for teaching the parts of speech. Traditionally, there are 8 parts of speech. We have nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, conjunctions, interjections, and prepositions. The first words to teach are the nouns and the verbs. Now, first graders can easily learn the concept of naming words and doing words. So give children plenty of practice with nouns and verbs before going on to another part of speech. And it's not even necessary to teach everything about nouns all at once. So lessons on singular, plural, possessive, and collective can wait until the child can identify a noun in general. Likewise, terms like tense, subject-verb agreement, participle, and transitive can be introduced after the child can pick out the verb in a sentence with confidence. Okay. So as the children master these words, introduce them to the parts of the sentence. So as they learn to identify nouns and verbs, they can learn to analyze sentences into their 2 main parts, the subject and the predicate. Once the child has mastered the concept of noun and verb, introduce the adjective. This is the time to introduce the definite and indefinite articles. So as the adjective is introduced, the child learns that the subject of a sentence may contain words in addition to the noun. So therefore, this is the time to introduce the terms simple subject and complete subject. When the child understands the function of the adjective, you can introduce the adverb. Now, you can give common adverbs like very and really and words that end in ly and maybe some frequency adverbs, but don't give them too much of the content. So after the adverb, introduce the pronoun. Now, when you teach the pronoun, teach only the subject forms of the personal pronouns to begin with. So these are the I, you, she, he, it, we, you, and they. The object forms can wait until you are ready to introduce prepositions. After the personal pronouns, introduce conjunctions. Tell the child that there are many kinds of conjunctions, but that you'll begin with the most common. The most commons are and, or, but, or so. Now, more information about conjunctions really is not needed at this point. The interjection is an easy concept to grasp, so it takes very little explanation. The preposition, on the other hand, can be very challenging. The preposition is best presented last. In introducing the preposition, the teacher must introduce the concept of the phrase because prepositions function only as part of a phrase. Now, I think this is why many students remain confused about prepositions even after finishing high school. Okay, so once you have introduced them to prepositional phrases, now is the time to introduce the object forms of the personal pronouns. In fact, it goes with it. So the personal pronouns, the object forms of the personal pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, you, and them. Again, you have to present this alongside the object pronouns and the prepositional phrase. Many children have difficulty in grasping the functions of the words in sentences. So lots of examples and plenty of practice are needed to establish mastery. So until the student has mastered these concepts, this concept of the parts of speech, it is really counterproductive to introduce more advanced information. More advanced information about the parts of speech and the parts of the sentence is really not very helpful at this point. But the good news is parents can start monitoring grammar learning as early as first grade. So don't let your children think of grammar as a bitter pill. So make it sweeter by using this sequence. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you for listening. So I hope you found this very useful. Bye-bye for now. This is Teacher Len, and I'll see you next time.